So one of the things that victims of abuse struggle with is interestingly very similar of the thing that abusers struggle with, and that is the ability to accurately model another person and their way of thinking. Abusers believe everyone thinks and feels and acts the way that they do, given the opportunity. And victims of abuse believe that everyone acts and thinks and feels the way that they would, given the opportunity. The problem is what the abuser is doing, what the victim is doing, what the abuser thinks, what the victim thinks, how the abuser feels, and what the victim feels. Two totally different things. So they're applying the same wrong model to other people in general. And so whenever I see people like bump up each other against each other with these like conflicting worldviews, where the victims often thinking and saying like, oh, all people are good. At their core, human beings, they just want to love each other and be in families, be happy together, be working together, be in community together. And the abuser is often saying things like, all people are selfish, even people who do good things are really doing it because they're selfish and it's selfishly motivated. And, everyone, it's a dog eat dog world and everyone takes advantage when they can, it'd be stupid not to, stuff like that. And so what you find is our naive people hear what these kind of aggressive, unsafe people are saying and go, oh no, they don't know. So I need to tell them, and I can prove it. I can prove that there are good, safe, kind people in this world. And then they'll know. And they can live happily in this world. And that is that is going to set you up for a very bad time, because what the victim and the abuser, what they don't realize is that these foundational beliefs like are core to their identity. So it is core to the abuser's identity because that gives them permission for doing all of the things that they're doing. If everyone is like this, then what they're doing isn't just not wrong, it's also smart because it would be stupid. You'd be a patsy to do something differently. So it allows them a moral justification for acting the ways they act. So a victim coming in and saying, "Oh no, not everybody's not like this." They don't understand that they're challenging the identity the abuser has of themselves, that they are bolstering with this belief, this false belief about how everyone is. And the victim is doing the same thing. I feel so often that victims and abusers are often doing the same thing from wildly different origination points. Therefore, they're getting wildly different outcomes, but the pattern to me looks very similar. So anyway, the victim, you know, is seeing the world as they are. And they want to see the world as they are because, you know, they don't want to grapple with the idea that there are bad people who do evil things. They want to look and see the best of people because they want people to look and see the best of them. And and so it unintentionally sets up this dynamic where they're not having good judgment about other people. And as always, I'm in the middle. I'm not like everybody's terrible. I'm not like everybody's great. I'm like, oh, some people not making their best choices. Some people are being terrible. Some people are making their best choices and being safe. And sometimes the same person may be doing it one way or the other because we're not static in time. So we have the ability to choose and do differently depending on where we are in our life, etc. Um, so the victim very, very much wants the unsafe people to believe what they believe. And instead of accepting, like, oh, there's people out here who aren't safe people, who aren't good people. They could choose to be good people, later making good choices. But in this moment right now, not good people. So the interesting thing is that when you have this slap fight over the nature of human beings, and you're in one extreme or the other, you end up misapplying it and therefore end up creating problems, not only for yourself, but also for others. I grew up in a spiritual um tradition. It was new age, new thought. We believed not only that we are all one, but that everybody at their core loved, loved, loved each other, wanted to be loving. We believed that love was the core thing that united all people. Not love is in doing the things that are loving. We meant love the feeling. We thought that everyone just needed to just start with this feeling and then we'd all be like loving to each other, which is not how it works. Uh, and I was not prepared for the highly cynical people. I was not prepared for these unsafe people. And I had somewhat of I think of it as a Beauty and the Beast mindset of like, oh, you just need to love people more, then they will be healed. Then everyone can be, you know, united in love. We are all one. Um, so what ended up happening was I did not recognize that there are some people with a dominance orientation. Hey, sweetie. There are some people with a dominance orientation. There are some people that build their own identity off of arrogating themselves over others, who put themselves above others in a very prideful way, in a very cocky way. They think they're better, and so they want to position themselves above other people, put those people in a one down position. They think that that's the smart thing to do, that everybody's doing that. Anyone who doesn't do that is stupid. And anyone who's stupid, it deserves to be taken advantage of because they're stupid. It's a might makes right mentality, that dog eat dog mentality. So that type of person looks on kindness as weakness. So here you have the victim, putative victim, who's like, I'll just be more kind. I'll just be more loving. I will show them. And meanwhile, the other side is going, oh, that's someone I can, they're weak. They're weak. And also they are often enraged by perceived weakness. They hate who they see to be as weak people, like hate, absolute disgust. How dare this person? And so when we don't have a full perspective on how people model the world and then operate within that world, we can make those mistakes of thinking that we can get through to another person. And so, just as an aside, and I'm not talking about it, I just want to mention it. I think a lot of the reason why our kindness people think this is because they have a misunderstanding of Christianity. And I'm not going to get into that. But people have an idea of a Jesus in the Bible that actually is not correct. And so they try to go out and be like this Jesus archetype of this endlessly patient, nurturing, kind, loving, you know, misperception of this Jesus archetype, and it ends up getting them in trouble. And so when I became Christian, I started reading that. I was like, this dude is not the dude that I thought he was. And I had mostly been raised with Buddha. So I had my concept of what goodness was and what it looked like to be a good person in this world uh was just very tangled together with random other religions that my particular group had been just co-opting from everybody. So if I find that many victims of abuse are often getting into these relationship dynamics because they are overly optimistic about who this other person is. They're overly naive about who they are and how they're thinking. Whereas the abuser is overly cynical, overly pessimistic, and making decisions from a selfish place, but they don't think it's a selfish place often, like this type of abuser, because to them, it's gamesmanship. They're just playing the game. They're just doing what everybody does. and it'd be stupid not to. Anyway, I hope this makes sense, and I'll talk to you later.